Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most anticipated matchups of the NFL season, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders. We'll be breaking down the odds, best bets, the latest player news, injuries, and of course, the key stats that you need to know before this game kicks off. So, grab a snack, sit back, and let's get right into it. Now, when you think of NFC East rivalries, you immediately think of some of the most hard-fought and gritty games in the league. The Dallas Cowboys and Washington Commanders have had their fair share of battles over the years, with the Cowboys holding a solid advantage in recent history. But that doesn't mean the Commanders are going to roll over and let the Cowboys walk away with an easy win. No way. This matchup is shaping up to be a tough one, and there are a lot of factors at play that could swing the game in either team's favor. Let's start with the odds. As of now, the Dallas Cowboys are favored to win this matchup, with a line hovering around 6.5 points, which means the Cowboys are expected to win by at least a touchdown. But, as we know, the NFL is unpredictable, and divisional games are always a little crazier than normal matchups. The over/under for this game is set at 44.5 points, indicating that we might see a somewhat low-scoring affair, especially given how these two teams have played recently. But before we start placing any bets or making bold predictions, let's take a closer look at each team and the key factors that could make or break this game. First, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Coming into this matchup, they've been riding high on both sides of the ball. Their defense has been absolutely dominant this season, especially led by linebacker Micah Parsons, who has been an absolute menace for opposing quarterbacks. He's a game changer, and his ability to disrupt plays could be the difference maker in this game. The Cowboys' defense is currently one of the top-ranked units in the league, and they've been suffocating opposing offenses with their aggressive play style. Offensively, Dak Prescott has been solid, though not without his ups and downs. He's been efficient, but hasn't necessarily put up the flashy numbers that some of the other top quarterbacks in the league have. Still, he's got a solid supporting cast, including the dynamic running back duo of Tony Pollard and Deuce Vaughn, as well as a solid receiving core featuring CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. The offensive line has been doing a better job at protecting Prescott this season, which is crucial in a game like this, where Washington's defensive front can be explosive. Now, let's flip the script and look at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders have been one of those teams that's tough to predict. They have flashes of brilliance, but consistency has been a challenge. On offense, quarterback Sam Howell has been a bit of a wild card. He's shown the ability to make big plays, but he's also had his fair share of turnovers. Howell will need to be on top of his game if the Commanders want to keep up with the high-powered Cowboys offense. He's got some solid weapons at his disposal, including the talented wide receiver Terry McLaurin and running back Brian Robinson Jr., who has been the backbone of their rushing attack this season. Defensively, the Commanders have had some solid moments, but their consistency has been a bit lacking. They've got some standout players, like defensive end Montez Sweat, but the overall unit hasn't been able to put together a complete game plan week in and week out. They'll need to tighten up their pass rush and coverage if they want to stand a chance against a Dallas offense that can score in bunches. Now, let's dive into the injuries for both teams, because that could play a huge role in how this game unfolds. For the Cowboys, they've been fairly healthy overall, but there are some concerns on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive tackle Osa Odigizua has been dealing with a minor injury, and his status for the game is still uncertain. While the Cowboys have great depth on defense, Odigizua's presence in the middle of the line would be a big boost. If he's unable to go, the Commanders' offensive line may have a better chance at controlling the line of scrimmage, especially with Howell needing all the protection he can get. On the offensive side, The Cowboys will be keeping an eye on wide receiver Michael Gallup, who has been nursing a knee issue. Gallup has been inconsistent at times this season, but when he's healthy, he's an explosive weapon on the field. If he's sidelined, that could open the door for someone like rookie Jalen Tolbert to step up and make an impact, though Gallup's absence would certainly be felt. Turning to the Commanders, their biggest injury concern is on the defensive side of the ball, where linebacker Jamin Davis has been dealing with a hamstring injury. Davis has been a key playmaker for Washington's defense, and his absence would be a big blow. If Davis can't suit up, the Commanders will need to rely on backup linebackers to fill the void, which could give Dak Prescott more time in the pocket and make it easier for the Cowboys' offense to move the ball. Additionally, the Commanders have been a bit banged up on the offensive line as well. Center Tyler Larson has been dealing with a knee issue, and his potential absence could create some serious challenges for Sam Howell in terms of protection and running the ball effectively. Washington's offensive line will need to step up to give Howell enough time to make plays and open up holes for Robinson in the running game. When it comes to betting on this game, there are a few angles that stand out. First, with the Cowboys being favorites at 6.5, that's a reasonable line given their overall strength and the Commanders' inconsistency. However, if you're feeling bold, you could consider betting on the Commanders to cover the spread, especially if you think Howell can step up and capitalize on any mistakes by Dak Prescott or the Cowboys' defense. The over/under of 44.5 points is also intriguing. With both teams having high-powered offenses and capable defenses, you might lean toward the over if you think we'll see a shootout, or the under if you believe the defenses will control the pace of the game. As far as player props go, keep an eye on CeeDee Lamb's receiving yards. With the Commanders struggling to contain elite wideouts this season, Lamb could be in for a huge game. Tony Pollard's rushing yards are another prop to consider, as he's been the Cowboys' workhorse in the backfield, and the Commanders' defense has shown vulnerability against the run. On the Commanders' side, keep an eye on Sam Howell's passing yards. If he can avoid turnovers and get the ball to McLaurin and other playmakers, he could easily go over the set number of passing yards for the game. So, what's the final prediction for this game? As much as the Commanders have the potential to keep this one close, I have to go with the Cowboys winning this matchup. Their defense has been lights out this season, and even though the offense has been a bit inconsistent, Dak Prescott has enough weapons around him to put points on the board. I'm predicting a 27-17 win for the Cowboys, with their defense being the key difference maker.